Hello and welcome to the Gnostic Takeover once again. So I'm heading into the live stream here and we're going live. It's lovely to have everyone here again. I've got many slides prepared to embark on another journey. And I'm inviting everyone to join me, which is great. So I'm just going to once again post to the live stream on all of the medias. Once again, this is a one-man show, me doing the bidding. Maybe in the future we'll have some sort of a crew. There's all sorts of visions that are floating in my mind, and I have to take it step by step. This is how it goes with the law of manifestation. This is what we focus on here majorly at the Gnostic Takeover. I am the law. And what is the law? It's not only got to do with legal law and contracts and can I say this? Do I have the right this? No. It's about the law of manifestation. And that's what the Gnostic Takeover focuses majorly on. Because guess what? This is how we take our planet back. The law of manifestation. You can bet everything that the dark occult priest class wants to give you a watered down version of the law of manifestation. They'll know that that's what people like me, who delve deeply into the study of Gnosticism and find out that that's where the key truly is, that we'll be delving deep into finding out the law of manifestation and how to manifest reality, how to transform all of reality. And therefore you've got books and films like The Secret and many other people talking about the law of manifestation. But what is it truly? And this is what we'll delve into today. So I've got everything posted now for everyone on the different platforms to join in today, and that is done now. Beautiful. Good. So let me head right. Hello to everyone. So now we can officially get started. Great to have everyone here, and thank you for joining me today. So there's many things I want to cover, so I better head right in. As I normally know from my experience, I can't keep myself short. I've got pictures prepared to convey the message, and yeah, let's head right into it. So in last week's video, no, not last week, a few days ago, my last video, I talked about the aspect of self-love and self-worth, being worthy. And I pointed to what is, in my opinion, from my perspective, the real pandemic that's happening with humanity. We've been so... everything in our mind has been turned upside down, so we live in an inverted world and we don't know what's right from wrong anymore. So yeah, I took a great risk in the last video to go right ahead and confront a very hidden mechanism of the control structure, which I'll be talking about here, what that is. And that has everything to do with our self-love, our trust in life, and the self-worth, how much worth we put to ourselves and how much we value ourselves. Therefore, the Gnostic Takeover went right ahead And as I say, we can't wake anyone up. We can only move forward and do what is the right thing to do and act in right livelihood. And it's an important thing to focus on, and I wanted to delve deeper into self-love and self-worth, being worthy and asking for help when help is required. And the Gnostic Takeover went right ahead and asked everyone to everyone who can help financially to help the Gnostic Takeover, because why not? It's an important question. Why not ask for help? And that's something I asked myself. There's people out there probably who have no troubles asking for help, and that's none of their issue. They probably have other things they need to work on. However, with me, that's a big aspect of where I feel troubled asking for help. I feel like I'm taking something away from someone, and I feel horrible doing that. And I realized that's a belief system. There is an ideological virus right there, and it's a big one. So I better get to it, get the sword of truth out and eliminate it, which is what I'm doing further, going deeper here in this video in what I spoke about, and extrapolate on that, and once again go into the big picture perspective, what I like to term the eagle thunderbird perspective, the eagle thunderbird vision. And the Gnostic Takeover needs a strong foundation. Therefore, we're going deep. We have to go deep for a strong foundation, and that's what the Gnostic Takeover is dedicated to do, not to stay on a surface level of reality, on a surface level of what I term the Wetiko news matrix construct that keeps us locked in, they're doing this, they're doing that, and now they're doing this, now they're doing that, and the future vision is going to be that, and we're getting away from this fear-driven propaganda, and we head right into the shadow work, in the internal work. And that's where we go deep into the emotions, knowing that the Wetiko matrix construct is an emotional prison. It's an emotional prison complex that keeps us trapped in the prison through our reactions. Therefore, there's a great picture that I don't have here, which I'm going to use in the coming videos again, with Bruce Lee talking about the importance of disciplining your emotions, otherwise the enemies will use them against you. And he's absolutely right. That's why the Gnostic Takeover focuses on emotional intelligence and coupling that together with intellectual intelligence, the intellect and the emotions together for holistic intelligence, natural intelligence to come forward, as it is, as I often emphasize, an innate intelligence that was given to us by our mother planet, that we're endowed with by our mother planet, and given to us also by the highest source of all creation. And if there's ever been a time we needed to activate our natural intelligence, it is now. The Gnostic Takeover is, I don't normally do isms, alright? I study isms. I study communisms or social isms or collectivisms or capitalism, all of the different ideologies that we know through history, that we look into on our path in truth discovery. If we really want to find out about the truth, we look at the isms, the differences of these ideologies. And the Gnostic Takeover is rooted in Gnosticism. And I also want to point out that Gnosticism is different to all the other isms, as my definition of Gnosticism is rooted in truth and truth only, which means the elimination of all ideology and all ideologies, the elimination of all, as I like to term it, the elimination of all ideological mind viruses. We're doing truth here, and the truth sometimes is difficult to go into and painful and shameful, as it is. The control system has taught us that if we ask for help, we need to feel shame. It's a shame that the Gnostic Takeover has to ask for financial donations. Well, at the time, right now, that's what the Gnostic Takeover has been guided towards to do by the plant medicine that I have a bond with, to ask for help. And the Gnostic Takeover asks the question, why not? And I realized it was an ideological mind virus running through my system still. That's why I go ahead and eliminate it and share that with everyone here, because maybe you're also going through similar experiences. Maybe, just maybe, it is an ideological mind virus that is running through most of us, and the Gnostic Takeover is picking up on it and pulling it from the unconscious into the conscious in order to heal it. As the saying goes, and this one of the principles actually of Gnosticism, is as long as the roots of wickedness is hidden, it is strong. When it is recognized, it dissolves, and when it is revealed, it perishes. And the Gnostic Takeover Gnosticism is all about the revealing of the workings of the roots of wickedness, what the Gnostic Takeover terms the Wetiko mind virus. How does the Wetiko mind virus get a hold of our psyche, and how does it play us? And how can we get on top of it, eliminate its influence on our psyche, on our minds, and truly live a life in freedom? And the Gnostic Takeover does not only want that for itself, for me and Liz, for example, and Liz's daughter that's soon going to be coming back to us, Leonie. This is also something that I'm heavily working on together with Liz, going deep into the workings of law. It's not just that the Gnostic Takeover has a good life. No, this is dedicated for everyone to have a good life. And that's why Gnosticism, in the true meaning of the way I see it, modern Gnosticism, being invoked, how it used to be also, how the ancestors used to be Gnostics, is Gnosticism and Gnostics are for the spiritual guidance of humanity. And that's what the Gnostic Takeover is rooted into, to have proper guidance along our journey in life in order to make the most out of the times we're living in right now, because we are living in, and I know it's said oftentimes, but that's why I need to say it also, we're living in the most extraordinary of times. And in my life, I'm beginning to see more and more magic, and it's the best of times and the worst of times. Is the half glass full? Is the half glass empty? I think we are the ones that decide what it is. And the Gnostic Takeover is all about finding the perception inside of us, activating natural intelligence and actually seeing that the glass is half full and that we're actually making it full now. We're creating the life of our dreams is strongly rooted in the Gnostic Takeover, and it's not just that I have a good life, it's that we can all have a good life. And the Gnostic Takeover, as I also said, you see the fish here, there's a few fishes here, a few fishes that we can fish. The Gnostic Takeover doesn't give you a fish, okay? That would be the basis of consumerism. That's where we're at still right now. This consumerism-based society that we've grown up in. and all these multinational corporations that perpetuate that have their whole business model set up on it. The Gnostic Takeover is all about eliminating the symptom through the cause. Okay, driving right at the cause and not staying stuck at the surface level of reality of the symptom. The Gnostic Takeover doesn't give you a fish, because we'd come again the next day and want another fish because we're once again hungry. It's all about learning, not only learning how to fish. No, the Gnostic Takeover doesn't go into fishing. We don't eat fish, for example. I've stopped eating animal products, in actual fact, except for honey. I love honey, and I also don't have any troubles with eggs. But that has been a massive change that the plant medicine educated me on, is the elimination of eating meat, but that's a whole nother subject. The Gnostic Takeover is all about learning how to blast open the prison. You see that tank in there where all the fish are in? Well, the dark occult priest class that wants to manipulate us even deeper into a system of slavery, now through technology that they wish to put us in, a technological social crediting system that they wish to maneuver us into. The Gnostic Takeover wants to educate what keeps us in the tank. As you can see the fish here, what is it that keeps us in the tank, and informs everyone listening here right now that not only is it possible that we exit the entire tank, meaning that we transcend the entire Wetiko matrix construct of slavery, it is our destiny to free ourselves from the bondage of the spirit of evil and transcend that prison by transforming ourselves. And that's what a Gnostic Takeover is all about, learning how to blast open the prison, because we have access to the infinite and the enemies of life don't, because they by nature, by the natural order, are limited. That's why they always create limited structures and scarcity-based mind control systems in order to keep us limited. Their game is all about keeping us in a smaller box than they are. And we're learning here how to blast open the prison and truly live a life rooted in freedom. And for that, it's all about activating innate intelligence, what I keep talking about here in the videos. It's to use a different symbol, and not just the symbol of the heart and activating heart-based intelligence. However, it's also the compass, to have our moral compass intact and actually learn using it more often. This has been mine and Liz's experience over the last few months, is more and more gaining trust in what our intuition tells us. And it's actually possible activating that intuition and living by that intuition. And this is truly entering into the realm of the magic of reality. And that's what I not only want for my own life, but for the life of everyone listening here, is to really enter the realm of the magical. And that happens through activating our innate intelligence, which is a guiding system. Okay, our internal innate guiding system that guides us through our life and makes us always have everything that we need in our life, that we need at the moment. And that's why Gnosticism is all about spiritual guidance of humanity. It doesn't tell you that I'm going to change your life for you. Don't depend on that. This is exactly the inversion of Gnosticism. That is all rooted about the victim, perpetrator, savior complex that religions do. That is an inversion of Gnosticism. So Don't wait for me to change the world for you. I'm doing all the change that I can do in my world and my impact on it, which is massive. I know it is massive, even though the viewer counts don't show up like in other platforms, okay? The Gnostic Takeover is not about quantity of viewership, it's about the quality of information contained. It's about the quality. And it's all about spiritual guidance of humanity, which means I don't only do this for myself and so I have a better life. No, it's about everyone creating the life of their dreams. And really knowing the real law of manifestation that is all about having access to the highest level of information on the esoterics, that which the dark occult priest class want to put a cap on and not have humanity have access to that. However, humanity has access to that. And I, at least here at the Gnostic Takeover, am doing my absolute best in sharing all of the information with you, which you can then, in your own sovereignty, connect the dots together and connect the dots and have the big picture of how you can make use of the law of manifestation to create the life that you wish to live. That's what it's truly all about. It's not about finding out what's going wrong in the world and what is really happening in the world and who's controlling who and this and no. Ultimately, yeah, these are all aspects of it. These are secondary aspects to the primary goal that I wish to point out to everyone here. The primary is what we need to focus on. It's the principles, the most important knowledge, and the primary information source that we should be looking at is the law of manifestation. How we manifest our reality, how we create our reality, instead of having reality manufactured for us, so we create it for them. And so we, in order to not fall into that trap of someone manufacturing reality for us and for us creating that reality for them, meaning for the Archon vampire empire, those vampires who are taking everyone's money, okay, they are robbing the entire world, okay, and breaking every record while doing it. They had a record for the biggest robbery of the world back then when the House of Rothschild took over the monetary system. And they had a new record in 2008 with the financial crisis, and they beat their own record again in 2020 through the crisis, the insinuated crisis. And it's all about robbing the world through possession. And then those who expose it, this is also workings of the dark occult, those who expose and actually put into effect the causal factors that will turn everything around, okay? If there is an opportunity, if there is such a thing as a way of turning the entire dynamics around of the robbery of the robber barons that are being run by a dark occult priest class in the background who know all about black magic and mind control, that is what the Gnostic Takeover shares. How to turn all of it around. And that has everything to do with what we ourselves do in our life. And not just, that's why I always keep saying, the Gnostic Takeover is not here for your entertainment purposes. It actually invites you to participate. And your perceptions will change over time. Even listening to this video here right now, you'll be able to reflect and even see how your energetic state of being is changing, because you know what? My innate intelligence is activated. Not fully activated, but the more I speak, the more I put into action what I say, what I claim, and actually not only talking a good talk, but actually walking the talk, walking the path of the warrior, of the king that was a warrior but became a king, taking back this planet to who it truly belongs. My innate intelligence is fully activated, in the process of being fully activated. And that's the spark that we need, activating our moral compass. And it's the intelligence of the plant kingdom. That's the true archetype of the king that I'm talking about. Okay, becoming a king in this world again. Okay, for the men to become men in this world again. And not only just sitting back and let the rubber barons take everything. No, we stand up. We do what is right, and it will actually be the greatest of all feelings in life if we are to do that and stand together with our women in doing that, and stand together as men and women in this world, protecting our children and actually creating a beautiful vision, a beautiful new vision that we have for the world. Like here, these are two pictures that I happily use here from one of the members from our Gnostic Takeover initiation group that I started 2 months back, which is quite an experience, I shall say. It's quite beautiful to get to know beautiful, wonderful members of mankind who, just like me, are all about opening up the heart and connecting strongly to heart-based intelligence. I'm still on my path. However, I have the confidence to share what it truly means along my journey of activating my inner compass, my heart-based intelligence, which has everything to do with how these plants here grow, how Mother Nature treats us. Okay, Mother Nature is all about gifts. It every single year produces in abundance, whilst the dark occultists want to keep us in the fish tank, manipulating the medium of water. Okay, being the energy that we live in as human beings, we like fish in a water pond, okay, who don't realize that we are swimming in energy. And then we are surprised that the world is in the state that it is when we are subconsciously being run by subconscious programs that want to keep us trapped and not grow like nature grows. Look at these plants here. Look how good they look. They feel, I don't think they feel guilty when they ask for help. When the plant asks the trees for help, okay, I need some energy, and the tree readily gives it because that's what it needs for the ecosystem to thrive. I don't think the plant feels guilty when it asks for help. So why does the Gnostic Takeover founder Stephen Wybrow feel guilty for asking for financial donations and asking for help? Why does he feel guilty? Yeah, that's what I get to the bottom of, because I'm honest. I'm actually honest here, and I actually share when I have issues that I still need working on, and I share that with everyone here, because then we can heal it together. So we grow like these plants, right? And when these plants grow, this is natural intelligence that we can actually observe. When these plants grow and are as healthy as they are here, they'll produce fruits. Exactly. And the dark occult is all about intervening in that process, intervening in the process of how the plants grow, and intervening in that process with humanity. So we as humanity, as mankind, as creator beings, do not create fruits from our growth as plants. They don't want natural intelligence activated, because that would be their end. This is how we take our planet back. We only have to activate that intelligence inside of us. Therefore, we transform the world from the inside out. Just like these plants here. Nature is a beautiful guide and has all the solutions that we're looking for for our world. And that's why I regularly do these videos. And by the way, I was really guilty in those 3 weeks, and before that also 3 weeks when I didn't do a video. I felt guilty. I'm letting everyone down here. However, that was again another mind virus, because I needed to digest what I went through myself in February. What happened when they stole Liz's child, Leonie. I needed to take that time in order to be able to produce the quality content that I'm producing here right now for everyone to grow. So what I want to point out here is, in order to have quality, we need to take the time out sometimes, and then we can have that quality. And yeah, manifest. I was asking myself the question, what is preventing humanity from growing organically? Like these beautiful plants here. What is preventing humanity from thriving? And I know that probably most of you have watched the documentary movie called Thrive. Yeah, it's all about thriving. How can we thrive? How can we grow organically? And what is preventing us? Well, I got a strong indication by the plant medicine that once I decided to take the risk and actually ask for help, and feeling kind of insecure and unsure about that, I realized what is a massive factor in preventing us, and it's the guilt. It's the guilt inside of us. As I said, it's like a stone wall above our hearts. In order for the heart, the fire of the heart, not igniting the mind and working in unison, working in communion, working together, and the mind being reprogrammed by the heart's intention, by the intelligence of the heart. Because it's the heart that can open the mind, and the other way round, it is the mind that can close the heart. So therefore, it's all about activating the heart in order to open the mind. And what I always keep pointing to is that we really need to be aware of the many traps that are along the path of our awakening. I've stopped watching all of the people that used to be my mentors, and I stopped because of this very thing, the projection of the future and a vision of the future that it has to get worse. Who says that? And this is what I also want to pick up on always, is this is preventing us. This sort of vision for the future. It has to get worse before it is better. No, the Gnostic Takeover says you're a drama queen. Don't you think it has already been bad enough? As I said in the last video, the world's been in crisis ever since I was born, since 32 years. It's ridiculous. What, we need more crisis? Nah, not with me. Which is why I say, sod these food shortage crisis. It's nonsense. We need a great vision that we put into effect. So when they say it has to get worse, and in many corners of the alternative media, the food shortage crisis and the AI takeover and the smart grid implementation, and now the monkeypox happening, and they're planning this in autumn. When they say it has to get worse, I say no. Because I know that the life force only works because of our choices. What are the choices that we make? And when we are talking about heart-based intelligence and the law of manifestation, a clear choice is always necessary. This is the basis of the law of manifestation. It's as simple as it can get, is a yes or no answer. Do you let the AI, smart grid, prison system, digital totalitarianism take over with the social crediting system of the blueprint that was laid by China? Therefore, the pandemic started in China, for the whole world to be restructured according to the Great Reset of the World Economic Forum that is also implemented through UN Agenda 2030 structurally through every local council and every city, not nation states, because they are being run like a company. Their only placement as a Truman Show level of reality of a TV show that you can see in the mainstream and the alternative media in order to program all of humanity without them knowing the prison system that they are creating, because it's manipulated by vampires in the background, a dark occult priest class that wish to control all alternative media sources, because if it ever were humanity to find out that they're creating the prison through the information that they consume, there might be others that share information that will truly get us out of the prison and create the world that we truly deserve and that the earth deserves. And the earth tells us we're the ones creating it. The Gnostic Takeover is all about saying enough. Consumption of information. We can look at all the information that we want, but if we only stay in consumption and consuming, we're nothing better than the consume society that they created. Doesn't matter if you watch the mainstream media or the alternative media. If it's only consumption, you're lost along the path. And they want to keep creating that vision, and that's why David Icke, for example, was vindicated. The vindication, because I told you what the future is going to be, just like George Orwell with 1984 and Aldous Huxley before. They want you to create that future. The Gnostic Takeover says enough. No fucking way are we having food shortages. No fucking way are we having genocide here. Okay, and if you don't like me swearing, well, that's just what it is. This is about really important stuff. This is about primary importance that I'm not being pushed around. I make clear choices, and with these clear choices that I make, I create a reality of abundance. I say no to all these ideological mind viruses where they want to trap me when they say in the German media, for example, it's alternative media, they say, oh, the Minister of Health is already planning this for autumn. Whoever freaking asked me, huh? Whoever freaking asked me? Can't happen, because I don't say yes to that. I say no. And that's how we stop it. It's our will that stops the agenda when we stop being distracted by the shadows of the light that are being casted on our minds, like a broadcasting a spell that we think we're being informed by. Oh, I'm more informed now what's going on in the world. But are they really talking about heart-based intelligence? Oh, they're talking about the heart. Good. Are they actually telling you how to activate your innate intelligence? Are they actually talking about how to activate your heart-based intelligence? The answer to that is the same. No. Not that I can see. This is where I would like to intervene as the Gnostic Takeover and actually talk about how heart-based intelligence is actually activated. And it is no, it's not going to get worse. I say no because I say so. It's a no because I say so. In full knowing that we are in full charge of our life. And it has always been so. And the Gnostic Takeover is dedicated to remind everyone that it absolutely is so. It's a self-fulfilling reality. And more every day I wake up, I'm getting more and more confirmation that is fully so. That is what it truly means, the true power that we hold, which is the very reason why they're even setting up a control system. You wouldn't set up a control system, a system of control, if you weren't trying to control something that you don't actually have control over. You have to set up a control system over mankind who have access to the infinite. They set up a control system because we are uncontrollable, but only if we recognize the true principles, the law of manifestation, how to manifest and create our life that we want, not that anyone else tells us to be, to actually be who we truly are. And that, from my life experience, has all to do with saying no. I've lost all my friends since the COVID crisis hit. The only one I'm left with right now is spending my time with Liz and working on heart-based intelligence, doing my shadow work. That's my reality right now, and I'm saying no. I'm saying no to other people's imposition on my reality. I say no, I define reality. And the law of manifestation and our life works for us when we make clear choices. No, I'm not putting up with this. I'm going to create the life that I wish to live now. And that's the gate that the Gnostic Takeover opens up. Not just for us, but for everyone listening to this message here. It's a gate to self-transformation. It comes with a knowing of how things actually work, of how they really work, how to really transform your life. And that comes with no price tag. Only sometimes when help is needed, asking for help. But no price tag. This is the journey that the Gnostic Takeover is on. This is the information that the Gnostic Takeover shares, is the gate to self-transformation. And self-transformation has everything to do with the transformation of our perception. And when we transform our perception, we transform our reality. That's how it works. That's the key. And for that, it's all pretty good to talk about heart-based intelligence, and you have to go into the heart, but they never talk about how to do that. And this is a great quote by Carl Jung, is that which you need most will be where you least want to look. Yeah. That's what it is, because in order to get out of the comfort zone, the bubble of the comfort zone, when the comfort zone is actually getting pretty uncomfortable, we have to leave our comfort zone, and that comes with fear. And that fear, as I talked about in one of the previous videos, eliminating the fear, that is rooted in the fear of the unknown. And that further along is rooted in the fear of death. But when you walk through the gate of the Gnostic Takeover to self-transformation, the Gnostic Takeover says the fear of death is actually the fear of the death of the program. It's not that we physically die. Self-transformation is death to the program. And the program doesn't want to be recognized. It doesn't want to lose its grip it has on our mind. It's like this quote that many of you will probably know from Carlos Castaneda, when he talks about the predator and the predators that came from outer space. They gave us their mind. It's a morose mind, and it's a a predator mindset that is always in constant fear of being discovered anytime soon. And the fear that we have, okay, that's the real driving force of any fear that we have. And I had the last few months, I really had to face major fears in my life. They're gone now because I faced them, because of everything that I've done in the last few months and years also, with the choices that I've made. Those fears are gone, and now having busted those bubbles of the fear, I'm not saying that all my fears are gone, but many of them are gone. You can talk like this when the bubble of fear is busted, and I can say that that fear is actually the fear of the program. It's the fear of the Wetiko mind virus. That when they gave us their mind, the reptilian brain, look at the workings of the reptilian brain. I'm going to speak more about this soon in time to come. It's all about survival. It's all about hierarchical structures. It's all about the Wetiko system that they locked us in, where we say enough and we get rid of it by going where we least want to look. But don't be afraid. I'm living proof that when you go where you least want to look, it's not your physical death. It's a gate of self-transformation that leads to the death of the program that keeps you in the prison. And that's plant medicine. That's the ally of Gnosticism for the true spiritual guidance of humanity that comes from the intelligence of the plant kingdom. We can see it every day out in nature. It's right there in front of us, and the most important things in life are the things that are right in front of us. Here we have the solution to all of the world problems. It's right in front of us. However, it is only a higher state of perception that makes you access that knowing. That we have to grow just like the plants grow, and eliminate the blockage to that growth, which is the blockage of the imposed mind virus on our minds. And Gnostics recognize that the truth is embedded in nature. That's why I don't use the term God, and I will always make a point about this. I don't never use God, because it's all in nature. It can only be source, because the only thing that I can observe, there's no God in nature out there. So the Gnostic Takeover says it or he or she doesn't exist. There may be gods of whatever, and fine. However, we don't do God here, because we in nature can see that there's a source of a river. That's what the Gnostic Takeover recognized and sees. Oh, that makes more sense to life philosophy, a source instead of a God. And that's that source of true empowering knowledge can be found throughout nature. And it's the plant medicine, healing your conditioning. That's what eliminates the mind virus, and that's what the Gnostic Takeover with this transmission here is dedicated to lead everyone toward. We don't have to wake up the others. We have to heal our conditioning. When we heal our conditioning and we live our life authentically, rooted in our authenticity, living our life according to our true moral purpose, our true purpose while we came here, others will recognize and they will ask us for guidance, which is all that Gnosticism is about. healing our cultural conditioning, and that means transformation of the past. There's a very interesting metaphor that I was given a few days back, which was, because I was out there in the public domain. I'm also going to speak a little bit about this a little later. I was out there. I was at the demonstrations. I wasn't only when the crisis of 2020 hit. I mean, I was out there at the demonstrations. I was doing public speaking. I was one of the main speakers at the Freedom Festival in Linz, the city of Linz. And for those looking at me, they could think that I'm this amazing activist who's really making a difference, and he's really going for it. However, since May of last year, since May 2021, I have not been at the demonstrations anymore. I was at one demonstration in November 2021. That was the last time. However, I left the demonstrations because I realized that the inner journey is what it really is all about. When you go the inner journey and you heal your cultural conditioning, that is where the true treasure lies, and that is where we can really take back our planet. I was directly guided toward that by the plant medicine that I work with. And instead of, to give you a metaphor, it's like I was a public speaker out in the city of Linz. The metaphor that I'm sharing with you is when you're in your home, and you see there's a problem in the world. Instead of going outside of your home and going out there, going to these demonstrations and actually confronting your fear of public speaking, actually speaking there, and you're gaining the momentum, you're gaining traction, and you feel that's good what you're doing right now. Instead of going, when you're at home, instead of going outside your home and do public speaking to make a difference, what I'm sharing with you here is it makes all the difference to not leave your home, but actually staying at home and go down where you least want to look. That which you need the most will be where you least want to look. And that could be the basement. That's the metaphor. Instead of, there's a problem in the world and something needs to be done. It can't go on like this. And then we go to these demonstrations and we come home. Like I've experienced this over and over again. And we ask ourselves, why did I go there? What does it truly mean? Am I really making a difference going to these demonstrations? And there's this feeling of insufficient action. It's something, it's difficult to describe. It's like lacking. I need to do more. And what I'm sharing, instead of leaving your home when the world is drowning in problems, don't leave your home. Go down into the basement and clear out the basement. Work on the foundation, as the Gnostic Takeover says. Go deep for a strong foundation. That's where the treasure lies. Go into the basement, clear out what needs clearing out, and you don't have to fear anything, because the fear is only the fear of the program of being discovered any second now. So that bubble of the program is busted once and for all, because we want freedom and nothing else but freedom. We don't settle for anything else. No agreement at any point, only freedom. And that means transformation of the past. Going into that basement, clearing it out, setting the right foundation. And George Orwell knew. He who controls the past controls the future. He who controls the present controls the past. Now we see that in a different light. That quote. Very perceptive quote. Very perceptive. Because it's the trigger of the past and the woundings of the past that take us back always into the prison. It's the trigger of the past to control you for the rest of your life. However, when you walk down into that basement, I can tell you, I've been walking down there consciously now, really consciously. Since May 2021, I've been going in there. And there's nothing to fear but fear itself. The program will break down. And the program has to break down. The programming that we're not good enough, that it's impossible to change anything in the world. All these societal conditionings, they have to go. And we clean up, and it can also be, we can also make this a great journey to go into the basement and actually have fun clearing out the stuff. Helping each other. That's what the Gnostic Takeover is here. The Gnostic Takeover is here so you can always touch base here. Okay? Because I myself also, it's I lost myself in the fears. And what I did the ice cold water. And I did my breathing exercises, and that balanced me again. There's nothing to fear, because freedom is our destiny. It's the transformation of the past that changes everything. Because as I said, those who control the past control the future. As George Orwell said, he who controls the past controls the future, and he who controls the present controls the past. We need to own our past and heal it, and then we can move forward into the future. And I'd like to share a little bit about my past. This is my family. This is my mother enjoying her beer out in the garden, and this is my father. And I love them. And just wanted to share a little bit of who I am. It's because I also have a past story. I'm not all perfect. That's what. I'm just honest here. Because I know honesty is rooted in truth, and it's the one and only truth that will lead us to freedom. And when the Covidian cult attacked in 2020, I made the choice. Okay? We go back to that choice that's represented here by Neo. I said no because I knew they're coming for my family. And I had to watch how, because my mother's a school teacher, she works as a school teacher in her school, and I could see how she was intimidated and threatened where she works in order to wear this fucking muzzle in her class. And my mother, her name's Maria, she's only one of 2 people who didn't take the experimental gene therapy in her school. Only one of 2 people from 46 school teachers in total in Austria where she works. It's a shocker. She didn't take it, she wasn't intimidated into that. She stood her ground when it comes to that, but they put so much pressure on you that she's really not had it easy the last 2 years, and she's also grown in all that time, and I'm really proud of her. But let me tell you, I did everything that I did in order to protect my family. These bastards from this sickness, from these sick psychopaths that run this criminal system. because my mum, in her position, she's heading into her retirement in the next year. In her position, they've made her powerless. Of course she can make other choices, but it's too far a stretch, all right? But I can make that difference for her. Okay, and this is how I see the Gnostic Takeover also. We're freeing everyone from the system. They have to make that choice themselves, okay? However, the Gnostic Foundation lays, the Gnostic Takeover, which is also a foundation, the Gnostic Takeover lays the foundation for everyone who's being tortured by this system to leave this system behind, because it's being run by a bunch of vampires who shall not live of our energy anymore. And then they die, just like the program dies when we face our fears. So I went out there because I didn't want to see my mother suffer anymore. And I was in a position where I could make a difference in the country of Austria, where we've always had a sort of a good living standard. I was in a position to do something, and it wasn't just my family that I wanted to make the difference for. It's also for the bigger family that I dedicate this work to. And it's such a sad story. And I think it was at the end of 2019, or was it in the beginning of 2019? I can't remember. I think it was in 2019 when I heard an interview by Norman Finkelstein, who is Jewish, and both his parents actually died during the Second World War in concentration camps. And Norman Finkelstein writes extensively about the predicament of a group of people that are most overlooked in this world, and it's such a tragedy. By a group of people who have no future. And he said something that has stuck in my mind ever since. In that interview he did with RT, he said the future of Palestine is the future of mankind. Actually, I got this from Max Egan. I now remember it's actually from Max Egan, and it's one of the things I truly value. What he shared. It's the future of Palestine is the future of mankind. So not only did I do everything for my family, but for the greater family of our human family. It's so sad. And I was just always, ever since, because I never knew about Palestine and what was going on there until I read the first book of David Icke in 2012. And I just has been the driving force, this question, throughout my life, ever since I went deeper into my research and into my work. How can I help my human family in places far away, in Iraq, Syria, and Palestine? How can I find a way? And there is a way. Where there is a will, there is a way. And the Gnostic Takeover is laying the foundation for a better world for all of mankind. And one of the things that keep us locked in the program, which is one of the things from my past that I got from my family, this is something that's being passed on from family to family, and it's one of the hidden controlling mechanisms of our societies, that the next generation should have it better than we had it. The generation before, so the parents, their offspring should have it better than they had it. However, our children, and when I was a child, there is only this class structure of Wetiko. And I always felt out of place wherever I went in my life. Okay, I went to school and I enjoyed my school time actually. However, when it was time to choose when I was 14, what do I want to become? I made the choice to continue on school because I didn't know what I want to become with 14, 15. No idea. And the same question came up again, the dreaded question. Let me say it's a dreaded question. What do you want to become in your life? What do you want to do in your life? The dreaded question came up again when I was 18, when I finished my school and the beginning of my studies at university. What do I want to become? And the same question came up again when I changed my studies when I was 22. And again, when I was 28, 29, it's this, it's horrific. What do I want to do with my life? I have no idea actually. Why can't we just be honest about it? But there's a lot of fear when it comes to that, to be that honest and actually say, well, you know what? I actually have no idea what I want to do with my life. And it's like McDonald's growing up in this system. It's like McDonald's. Everything you've got all these different studies that you can attend, and these supposed different choices that you have. But it all has the same flavor. It all has the same texture, the same structure, the same hierarchy. That is the very problem that you, as a free thinker, just do not fit into it. It is the biggest blessing that you can have, but it's also the biggest curse, because it brings up the fear of not being worthy, of not fitting into society. Yeah, that's for a very specific reason that we're not meant to fit into. And many listening to this here will probably resonate with that, because that needs to be eliminated. And it's the class structure of Wetiko. This is where the next generation from the previous generation, when the previous generation says that the next generation should have it better than we had it, it's the same hierarchy that everyone is meant to be integrated in. However, in that hierarchy, when you want to make your life work and you want to become successful, it's a fact that within this class structure of Wetiko, the spirit of evil, this pyramidical, hierarchical command and control structure that they've set up here on Earth, the higher you go up the pyramid, the more psychopathic they are, meaning you become if you want to go up that pyramid. And therefore most of us geniuses. We are living geniuses as mankind, if only we get the spiritual guidance, which my work is dedicated to do. We blast open the prison, and we learn how to blast it open through the activation of innate intelligence. We, as the great geniuses who can't be integrated into that class structure of Wetiko, we then choose to, most of us, we're at the lower strata of that pyramid when it comes to my income that I earn every month with putting a lot of work into the work that I do. I'm at the lowest end of the strata here, but I'm more happy than anyone above that, because I do what I feel I have to do here. This is where I get my true value from, my true well-being from. Makes me feel good to do something that has a worthy cause, and this is what we're meant to do. However, the point that I'm making is that what I want to point at is that we settle for too little. We settle for the crumbs, and we need to challenge ourselves. Especially in the times right now where this class structure of Wetiko that is orchestrated by Wetiko, the spirit of evil, and the psychopaths that serve it, they're coming for us. They really are coming for us. And it's all about standing up to them and taking on that challenge and blasting that pyramid away, blasting that prison system away. And that happens through divine intervention. The force, as I like to call them, the forces of ultimate power, ayahuasca and datura, which is the major ally here at the Gnostic Takeover to move the Gnostic Takeover message forward. We need what is termed as divine intervention, but it comes in different form to what people might expect through the plant kingdom and the intelligence that informs the plant kingdom. This is the divine intervention, which I'm giving the microphone here. This is the platform for the forces of ultimate power to work through me. And I've been on this journey, sharing a little bit about my past. I've been on this journey since 13 years, and this is me here in the city of Vienna. Yeah, it's quite beautiful. That's at the Alte Donau. For anyone here tuning in from Austria who knows Vienna, Alte Donau was my favorite place here in Vienna, where this is me with 22. Right after I decided to quit my studies in mechanical engineering. I was studying mechanical engineering for 2 years before I quit that, because I learned what I needed to learn and I'm still putting into use what I learned back then in terms of mechanics, physics and mathematics I'm using for the great work that I'm doing here right now, which is the reason why my brain works very logically. I have a strong intellectual foundation that over the past few years I have married with what ayahuasca and datura, the forces of ultimate power, have to teach us, is the plant medicine healing and healing our conditioning. We heal it through emotional intelligence. This is what has come to my attention ever since 2018, which was also a major marker along my life when I turned 28. And the forces of ultimate power have always been guiding me from the background. You see me here, 22, just changed my studies from mechanical engineering to becoming a teacher, studying mathematics and history. But little did I know that I was being educated not by the university, but by the plant kingdom that was guiding me throughout, and it didn't make any sense to me, and I was always in fear of what my future is going to be, until I realized that I was meant to bring something new into the world and help myself first to make to be able to live from the great work that I'm doing, to be able to live from that and have my life working, doing the great work, but also truly being that spiritual guidance for humanity, and to help my human family to live their dreams also the same as I live it. This is what natural intelligence really is. It's everywhere in the plant kingdom that they help each other grow, and that's what the Gnostic Takeover is dedicated to do. Yeah, that was me out in nature and learning in nature, not knowing at the time. This is 2012. This is 2012, the year 2012, where I hadn't even known anything about natural law. I was learning in nature. Here's my mathematics book. I was learning mathematics and how to integrate mathematics into natural law. They don't want you to know about mathematics, which is why they traumatize everyone with mathematics in school. They did that purposefully, because if you have a strong grip on mathematics, you can slay the whole wet ecosystem, the whole criminal system. Mathematics is very important when it comes to the logic and being able to logically deduct from that. It's not so much the calculating that's important, it's more the methods, the methodology of mathematics that's important here. I was learning in nature, learning about nature, and I was learning to accept that I was never ever meant to integrate into the psychopathic hierarchical class structure of Whittaker. I was meant to blast it all away, free myself from the grips of this system, and share with my family of mankind how to get out of that system, out of the grips of these criminals, and eliminate these criminals from the earth, because they don't belong here. The vampires don't belong here. And I put them game, set and match, shachmat, in order for life to evolve again on this planet naturally. And along that journey, I needed to accept and integrate the eagle in my life. This is me in 2018. So in 2012, I changed my studies, and in 2017, I dropped my studies, my second attempt at studying, and it was horrific for my mother to find out that her son, that she knows I'm highly intelligent, but what is she gonna tell the people at work, that her son stopped studying and he's a great failure? Yeah, I had to go through that pain. I had to go through that fear of being looked as by my friends and by my family and by people around my family as this failure. What am I gonna tell people? Good luck with trying to tell them about divine intervention, plant medicine, and taking the planet back. Well, they think you're crazy, don't they? Well, of course you must be crazy in a crazy world in order to be sane. In 2018, I needed to accept and start integrating the eagle in my life. It's the eagle is one of the energies, and one of the archetypes is the eagle. As I show here, my portrayal of the eagle. That takes down this system. It's the overview. It's the eagle thunderbird vision, having the overview and knowing exactly where this system falls, the sort of the screws that really untangle it and unravel it and make it burn to the ground, because it is my purpose, my destiny, to burn down the Archon Vampire Empire to the ground. It's as simple as it is. That's what I am here to do, together with all of us in our unique way. It's not just me doing this and oh, look at me. No, it's meant to be a collaborative effort, to work in synergy and to activate the synergetic effect. So moving further along, this is me here, sharing a few pictures here from my past. This is me here standing on the stage in the city of Linz, and I was calling them out in public, okay, the Vampire Empire. I said, it's Satanists that are manipulating this situation, and where others were still banging on about, oh, it's not isolated and this and that, and talking about the symptoms, I was talking about the real issues here. It's that it is not acceptable on this planet anymore to have the system run under human trafficking. That's everything that's happening here. It's human trafficking, it's organ trafficking, it's criminality of the highest kind, and I was calling them out directly. I said the people that are orchestrating this, they're Satanists, and I called them out and I said, come out from your background where you think you're all knowing and I'm here, I know who you are. And all I did was just call them out, and that's how I ended up, for example, in Saint Corona. Yeah. Yeah, when you don't wear muzzle and you are absolutely strict on your principles and you work on yourself, you grow in confidence and you say never muzzle, you get fined for being a human being. And I just put out the intention that who the fuck is trying to tell me to wear a muzzle on my planet? And that's how I ended up in Saint Corona. That's why I know the psychology of these ancient master psychologists, these Satanists, because I directly encountered them in my life, in the form of Errol, for example, or in the form of the High Priest of Satanism in Saint Corona, Francis Vogel. Yeah, they're probably listening to this live stream here right now. And they're all about keeping the Gnostic Takeover down. They're all about framing the Gnostic Takeover as, oh, he's asking for help, that means he's begging for money. Yeah, because they don't want the Gnostic Takeover grow. They don't want this message to get out because it's actual real inspiration from someone who should normally be at the lowest strata of society because he doesn't consent with the psychopathy that this system is run on and would never make it up to the top of the Wetiko structure. But you see, I realized that this class structure can be checkmated through becoming the apex point of this pyramid, and you do it through becoming the highest point of the pyramid, the apex point in the information pyramid, having access to the highest level of information that there is. And this is what the Gnostic Takeover does and is, and lays the foundation. This is the only foundation we can lay. A proper foundation can only be laid on the basis of natural law principles, on the basis of the natural order through which we find out the law of manifestation, how to manifest the life of our dreams, not just for the Gnostic Takeover, but for all of mankind. And here is me in the irrelevant media. So I went public at the time, and I didn't stop. Once I start, I don't stop, because I have a goal. I have a goal and I don't rest until it's done. Alright, my goal, very simple. I've said it often at times before. Taking the planet back. Won't settle for less, and tell me if there is more. I'm all ears. But first we take back this planet. And I was in the irrelevant media. You can see here, me in Der Standard is one of the main newspapers in Austria. 5G is a weapon of mass control. Yeah, I was talking about not it being this and that, and it's a weapon. That's what I was talking about, and I was talking about that everyone's privately liable installing this system of 5G that's uninsurable. Oh, and that's how, for some magical reason, I disappeared from the media landscape who were trying to frame me as some lunatic. You know how I disappeared from the mainstream media talking about me, because they had multiple of these hit pieces in there. You know how I got eliminated from the mainstream? By talking about liability, private liability. That's how they stopped. Which is the reason why I don't give a shit if I'm in the media or not. I'm just doing the right thing. That's why I also don't, although sometimes it does hurt me, I'm honest about that, it does hurt me sometimes that I'm not invited anywhere on the alternative media. But I always go back to the trust in yourself, trust in the process, and everything will unfold for you. Because as I said, and this goes for everyone listening to this here, the forces of ultimate power have always been guiding me throughout my life from the background, and so it has for you also. So here I was in the Irrelevant Media, and they even had a piece in there where they said, this guy, Stephen Wirebrow, he talks about the 5G weapon system, and he actually says that he wants to take down the entire elite. I said that, yeah, exactly. In the middle of the city of Vienna, just face to face of the constitutional courts here in Austria that are only here to protect the criminals and not actually have the constitution as the basis of all law in Austria. The constitutional court, I stood in face to face to the constitutional court in the middle of Vienna with a microphone in my hand, and I said, I'm here to take down the entire elite. And that was that was 2 years ago. And nothing has happened to me because they're a fake. They are a bluff. This system that's being run by a bunch of dark, occult, psychopathic maniacs are cowards. And the entire system is run on intimidation, where they wish to intimidate you and hack into your psychology and work you and work your mind, your psyche, with the guilt that they've pushed down everyone's throat. And I'm here to expose that. I went right in front of them, right in front in the public arena, and called them out in public. And I said, I'm taking down all of the elites. Because I didn't know at the time that all I needed to do was just speak the truth, and you'll be protected like nothing else. Biggest protection. But you also need to keep up. You need to sustain your protection, because the forces of ultimate power are teaching you about protection. This is what the ayahuasca and datura has been teaching me, is how true protection works. Okay? And that's why I had to get rid of my addictive behaviors in the form of cigarettes and CBD weed that I was smoking and the alcohol that I was drinking. I also needed to get rid of eating meat. It's all intel from the plant medicine, because guess what? Nature knows best. Not me. I need to take the humble way. I need to eat humble pie. And respect that there is a source of knowledge that knows far more about life, its mysteries and its workings than me. And this is me right now, learning from the plant medicine, giving the platform for the plant medicine to speak through me directly, because it's the forces of ultimate power. And as I said, since May 2021, I've stepped out of my public role, speaking at public events and at demonstrations, because most of them are run by the criminal mafia anyway. They've got their placement in there. Most of the people here in Austria who spoke at these demonstrations, they are part of controlled opposition. They're not informing the people about the real stuff. Do you think they ever mention the planet and the intelligence of the plant kingdom? No way would they ever mention that. Because they're all just about complaining to continue to have the structure in place that they serve. This is why I talk about controlled opposition here, because they want to keep the structure in place, and that structure is the higher you go up in this structure, the more psychopathic they are. To which I say one thing: no. Fuck your class structure. No. We do not tolerate criminals here on Earth. This is our planet. And just like I spoke the truth back then, and not had any problems doing so, so it is now. They can't do nothing when you speak the truth. When you make a clear choice, no, they can't do nothing. These wannabe control freaks, why do you think they need to control everything? Because when you speak the truth and you learn from the forces of ultimate power and are informed by natural intelligence, the intelligence that informs all of nature and the plant kingdom, you speak the truth, you have all the protection, no one is allowed to touch you, and the next thing you do, you transform all of reality. From the microcosm to the macrocosm. One holistic field of reality, because it ain't a materialistic collective reality. You create reality, and no one of these criminals is allowed into your reality when you set and define your reality like I do, for example. I do not consent with evil on all levels of existence. I also say I do not consent with any and all collisions with evil, because evil has no intelligence and my will is already activated. Because evil ultimately serves the purpose of activating our will, which is the reason why I am the will, not the devil. I am the will. I represent the will. That's why I'm 4 times Aries. It's the will. Your will has to be powerful. Your will has to be stronger than the will of the entire environment in order for you to transform reality. That is the secret, one of the foundational secrets to the law of manifestation, is your will has to be more powerful than the will of the environment. And when your will is in alignment with the truth, it will be manifested. So reality transformation comes from the microcosm of our self, our body, mind and spirit trinity, and how the dynamics work there. We transform the macrocosm. This is holistic intelligence, seeing that all of reality outside of you links to your inside reality of your thoughts, emotions, and the actions that you take in the real world. And I needed to look, and I wanted to look at the real cause of human suffering. This is also in my name, Whybrow, which is the question why, is the question that leads you to the causal factors that have led us into the predicament that we're in right now. What is the cause of human suffering? Well, it's this lie. The lie that our life is meaningless. It is not. Our life is not meaningless. In actual fact, our life is full of purpose. We need to recognize that and get that out of our system. Eliminate that. That's deep inside of us. And don't put me on a pedestal because I'm doing the great work. I'm doing the great work because I had to go through long years of depression, believing my life is meaningless, that I don't serve a purpose. But all that life was showing me is that which is the biggest gift that you have and the biggest curse at the same time, which is that you do not belong into this class structure. That's why your parents think you're a failure, because they're embedded into this class structure and they want you into this class structure. And that's why everyone who doesn't belong into this class structure and walks another path is thought of by their parents as being a failure, when it's the very opposite. You're living the great gift and you are the genius. that you are meant to be and that the earth needs. The earth needs us as geniuses to shine our light now. Yeah, here at the Gnostic Takeover, we drive into the causal factors of human suffering in order to eliminate it. This is the true light. That's why Carl Jung said, you do not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious and healing the cause of human suffering. And we do that by realizing that our life has a greater purpose. Realize that your life, you listening here right now, it's the forces of ultimate power that are speaking to you. Realize that your life has a greater purpose. And do not settle for the crumbs anymore. You are beautiful, you're powerful, and you have access to the infinite, just as the speaker here right now, Stephen Wybrow, has access to the infinite. Who's bringing this message forward instead of entertaining with truthful information. This is what we should be speaking about. Realizing that our life has a greater purpose. Not believing the lie that our life is meaningless. No, we fall into the trap of believing that our life is limitless is because we just do not fit in this pyramidical class structure that is informed by the spirit of evil of Wetiko, because it is immoral and we are moral beings. It is a sign of health to not fit into that psychopathic class structure. And there's one of the greatest quotes that I've ever heard. It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. Yeah, that's why we create our own life now. And heal the past, which drives right at the heart of this control system. Eliminating the sin that traps us in it, that traps us in the control system. Which is why we have Gnosticism in the first place, for the spiritual guidance of humanity. And the spiritual guidance of humanity is all about eliminating the ideological mind viruses that are religions, and that are mostly found in the New Age religion, in order for humanity not to tap into its infinite power and really get a hold of the true law of manifestation, which is by eliminating what keeps us trapped in the control system, and that is guilt. The control system is run on guilt. That's, when we go back, the original sin. It's guilt. Feeling guilty for whatever. Feeling guilty for doing the great work and asking for help. Where the vampire empire attacks the Gnostic Takeover because, oh, see, he's begging for money. It's okay when they have all the billions, but you're not allowed to have the fruit for your labor, the fruit for your great work, because that would mean that you, like the plant kingdom, are producing fruits. That's what it's all about in the law of manifestation. But for some reason, the Gnostic Takeover is not allowed to have any fruits by the Archon Vampire Empire. Yeah, because it's a threat, because it's taking them down. And truly giving to the Gnostic Takeover, making a contribution as the Gnostic Takeover asks for help. And by the way, I'm not checking anything for 1 week of the support that we're getting, because I'm really working on it. I know this is a big hidden controlling mechanism inside my psyche, is to not know my true value, and this is what I'm looking at right now and facing and healing right now as I speak. And I'm putting all of this message together because when the Gnostic Takeover asks for your help, asks for free donations or becoming a Patreon, and all the links you find underneath in the description below, it is not that the Gnostic Takeover is taking anything away from anyone else. It's not that your account balance is then that I've taken from your account balance because it's been donated. No, it leads to more growth, because if you choose to donate to the cause of the Gnostic Takeover, then any donation is kindly, happily received. It is based in symbiosis. More will grow from that. This is part of the law of manifestation, that where you put your attention is that which grows. And when you put your attention, when you put value into a worthy cause, that worthy cause is what grows further. That's how it really works. Whereas the vampire empire, the control system, tries to frame the Gnostic Takeover as he's begging for money. It's all nonsense. And I don't buy it anymore, because I'm certainly not begging for money. I'm simply asking for help. What's the bloody problem about that? There's no problem with it. We are meant to help each other. That's the truth. And we're talking about ancestors here also. Oh boy, that's a big aspect that I'll be touching on in the coming videos also. What we're healing here and what the Gnostic Takeover is talking about are issues that our ancestors want us to heal. Because I got this from my parents also, is the fear of money and having a negative correlation, a negative relationship with money. I took on from my parents, because it was always, oh, we have too little money, oh, we don't have this, oh, we have to save now, and we have to buy less, and all scarcity I got from my parents. However, who has the responsibility now to heal that? It's me. It's me. And it's something that the ancestors, that we also need to heal from our ancestors, from our past, because we were locked into this control system that is run, that I say is run on guilt, and we need to eliminate the sin that traps us in the control system. We need to eliminate that ideological mind virus of original sin, which camouflages itself. It's the mind virus that fears of being discovered any minute now, and that is represented also in the lie that our life is meaningless. It's guilt. It's feeling guilty for who we are. You don't have to feel guilty for who you are, because you're meant to serve a greater purpose. Your life serves a greater purpose. That's the truth. And this is an ancestral issue also. And we also not only take responsibility for our own families and for our human family of mankind that are incarnated in this moment here right now on earth, but also for all the past generations that have come and that have been genocided by this so-called Uber class, by this Archon vampire empire whose structure I'm burning to the ground, because it doesn't belong here on earth anymore. You're done. You're over. Bye-bye. You won't be missed. We're here to take this planet back. That's the message. When you see the muzzles, is that which is going to activate our will? Is that going to be the point where we change the direction of our lives and change the predicament of the earth right now? Is that what has activated our will? Then good, you're on the right path. And the most important with ideas, the most important with vision is do not keep your vision smaller when it need not be. Have a grand vision. That's what it's about, something to get excited about. It's really exciting for me to think about traveling the world and go anywhere I want to go at any moment in time, anywhere. Because I'll be the next Henry Kissinger, the moral Henry Kissinger, who could be at any time, anywhere in the world, at any moment. Why can't we be that? Why can only Henry Kissinger and all these who serve the psychopathic class of the vampires, who are vampires themselves, why is it only for them to be able to just sit into any plane where all the other sheeps have to wear a muzzle in the plane, but they can just go with their massive jets anywhere in the world? The Gnostic Takeover says we are taking our planet back. And not only are we taking our planet back, we are taking the vision back that we'll be the ones who are setting off with private jets. And the most amazing of accomplishments that we are going to accomplish as a human family, because we have the grand vision in place. And it's time. Who the fuck is anyone to tell me what to do? That should be the attitude. Masters for their slaves. This doesn't belong here on planet Earth anymore. And I don't care if they get their fourth freaking therapy. It's not the vision of Earth anymore. This is a reality that's dead. And it's dying. And it's being removed from creation because it doesn't serve creation anymore. And all of these vampires have to find a new place to suck off someone, because they won't be sucking off anyone here on Earth anymore. It is so because I say so. Yeah, because it just so happens that I'm infused with the confidence of speaking like the forces of ultimate power want us to speak. Because it's all about choice. It's making a clear decision. No freaking way. No way are we putting up with this shit any longer. No way. The forces of ultimate power being unleashed all across the earth for everyone to witness, to experience, and to grow like the plants grow. And for you, the listener here, also creating your life, how and where you should be served, when you are doing the great work, when you realize that your life has a greater purpose, that also you will be supported. That also you will be supported by your family of mankind. When you do the great work for everyone, not just for your family, but for all the family of mankind. Because you know the future of Palestine or the future of Syria, that is still, the war is being waged on Syria since 2012. Still, we're not hearing anything, doesn't mean it has ended. You're doing it for the future of all of mankind. Then you are absolutely part of the Gnostic Takeover. Because you'll also be supported by your human family when you're doing the great work. Because just like with me, the forces of ultimate power have always been guiding you from the background. Now is the time to shine your light. Integrate that you have the greater purpose and you have the Gnostic Takeover always as a foundation that will always be here for the forces of ultimate power to speak and reinvigorate the grand vision in your vision, your perception of reality that then becomes your reality. It's all about the activation of the childhood dream. Let me activate my childhood dream. Who is anyone to stop me from doing that? Yeah, who's anyone to make and try and stop me? My will is stronger than anyone's will. My will is stronger than any will of the environment. Can be 8 billion against me. Not wanting to activate my childhood dream. I know as a fact that no one can stop me from doing it. Just as well as I called them out in public. I spoke about Satanism. I spoke about the Satanists. Okay, I was in the media, publicly in the media. This guy wants to take down the entire elite, and I say, yes, exactly. It's exactly what I want. It's the only reason why I'm here. Yeah, thanks for quoting me the right way, because it's a bunch of psychopaths. We don't want them anymore here. Bunch of vampires. And you know what has happened to me? Nothing. I'm still here because they're a bluff. They're all about intimidation, so you do not speak with this confidence. And the forces of ultimate power that then cracks in on the bubble that the dark occultists are in. They're feeling it. Let me tell you, those megalomaniacs in the background who thought they're all clever, setting up an AI 5G smart grid control system in the blueprint of the Chinese social crediting system, they thought they had it all figured out. But now the forces of ultimate power is forcing them to the table. And there's only going to be one end to it. Them leaving Earth. That's the grand vision of the Gnostic Takeover. We take back our planet. That was my childhood dream. I'm here to change the world. Who is anyone to tell me otherwise? Who is anyone to tell a precious child who says that, and tell that child, like they're looking at you right now, oh, you can't do that? Who is anyone to say that? Everything is possible is the reality that I'm anchored in. Everything is possible because it's only impossible until it's done. That's the truth. Activating your childhood dream because those who are laughing have buried theirs. That's the truth. The ones who are laughing are the ones who've already buried theirs. Well, it's not your problem that they can't deal with themselves. It's not any of your concerns that they can't look at their childhood traumas and their childhood woundings. If they were to have the courage like you have and really look into that, what you need the most is where you least want to look, okay, and actually healing your conditioning. They don't have that courage, but you have. Otherwise you wouldn't be listening to the Gnostic Takeover, would you? If you wouldn't have a much greater purpose. Exactly. Those laughing are those who have buried their childhood dreams, and this is where we get. They want to the involutionary force. They want to keep us trapped in their control system that is run on guilt. It's not fear. Fear is a result, an effect of the cause of guilt. Guilt is the causal level that leads to the effect of fear. This system, this control system that is run by the spirit of evil of Wetiko, is run on guilt. Original sin, the basis of all religion. Okay? And this is where we get to the prime motivational factor of why these vampires have attacked mankind all these years, all the way back, genocided many of our ancestors. It's because they laugh at us, and that laughing is because they envy us. They envy us because we have the access to the forces of ultimate power, and they do not. The reason for that is because they are immoral. Whereas when you are moral, the world's your oyster. Have a grand vision, and you'll make it happen. Yeah, and those laughing about your childhood dreams, okay? Activate your childhood dream. That's what the Gnostic Takeover is here for, inspiration for you to do. I'm here to change the world. Those laughing at you have buried theirs under the commands of their masters that they don't even know. This is the craziness. Under the commands of their masters, they have buried their inner child. They don't heal their inner child. And that's why they try and laugh at others. Who are you? Who are you to change the world? Well, all I can say is I was struck by lightning. And all the Gnostic Takeover is here to do is be that foundation. You can always go back and look at the previous videos. From my experience, when I watch a movie again or when I watch a series again, I always get new insights. You can always go back at previous videos when I'm just in the middle of doing my own shadow work and I need a little bit of a break. I'll always be back. Sometimes you need a break in order to produce your best material. But the Gnostic Takeover is here for those of you who wish to embark on the ultimate journey of our life and to find out what the truth is and live a life according to the truth. You'll manifest a life of freedom. That's what it is. That's what it is here to do. And the Gnostic Takeover is here to be that spiritual guidance for humanity. I'm being spiritually guided by my own inner compass, but it's only worth it when I also share everything that I learn, when I share that with everyone and talk about how it is actually done, how we actually activate our innate intelligence. And I think I gave many a clue today with this talk. Thank you for joining me. I hope you were struck with lightning, inspiration here. Again, I have for this week, my focus point is to eliminate the guilt inside of me. Feeling guilty for asking for help, but this is what I'm facing right now. And again, I'd like to invite everyone to help the Gnostic Takeover with a free donation or become a Patreon supporter. It will be in great hands here. As I explained, the plant kingdom, it's not that we here at the Gnostic Takeover we take anything away from you. This is wrong thinking that was put into our psyche by the predator that wants to keep us under control. We are all these plants in nature, growing, and we are worthy of all the fruits that we receive for the great work that we do, as long as it is for a worthy cause. And that when you donate to the Gnostic Takeover, you will activate that synergetic effect that will make you be struck by lightning. You'll even be struck by lightning just listening to this. This is the plant medicine connecting you with the resonance field of the radio station of the Gnostic Takeover. And that will make all the difference in your life. It most certainly is making all the difference in my life. So thank you to everyone who is supporting the Gnostic Takeover and who sees the vision that we have here at the Gnostic Takeover. And I'm happy to join you once again soon, coming again with the great narrative of the earth. The future is being written now, and it's a bright future because we have a great vision for the world. We need to have for our children, for ourselves, and for our loved ones, and for all of our human family.